Please give it up for Mr. Larry Fitzgerald, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Fitzgerald, okay. Thank you so much for joining. I apologize. I'm gonna take the blame on this one for not getting you on board, the connection issues from earlier. But I'm just glad that we are able to have you on the show. How are you doing so far?
I'm doing fantastic, and I really appreciate you guys having me. I apologize about the technical difficulties early, but I'm really glad I'm able to join you guys and have a great conversation.
Let me ask you this. So you were just on the golf course, correct?
Yeah.
So let me ask, how was the experience? Did you win? How was the competition?
What you shoot?
Update us. What happened? What was going on?
What you do?
It's a 2-day event, so we finished top five today. So we're in the hunt, we're in the competition. So I gotta play a little bit better tomorrow, for us to be able to pull out the win. But me and my partner did our thing, and I'm happy where we are. I'll sleep good tonight, knowing I didn't completely embarrass myself.
At top five, we were just talking about how you're top five in everything you do.
Yeah.
And it goes to show it right here. So let's get into it. The beginning.
The beginning.
Beginning.
You are known to be a Hall of Fame worthy wide receiver for the Arizona Cardinals, right? But what has always been your inspiration for playing football?
Well, as a child, growing up, you look at TV and you watch, the best athletes, not only just football players, but basketball and golf and all type of different sports. You always look and kind of use them as inspiration for something that you think would be cool for you to do one day. And I was fortunate to have a couple of jobs that brought me a little bit closer to the athlete as a ball boy, and really gave me like an up close personal experience that most people don't ever get a chance to have. If I get a chance to ask them questions about their diets, their work ethic, the things that they abstain from, to be able to, make sure to put themselves in position to be able to excel on and off the field, internships they would do when they were playing to help them set up opportunities post-career. All of these things I was able to learn from like 12 to 18 years old before I was even in position to do it professionally. So I feel like I kind of had like the cliff notes or the cheat code, so to speak, into it. It's very similar to, I would say, what you guys are doing, in terms of your program ability. I mean, like, this is not something that's, readily available to everybody, right? But you guys have, tapped into something that's unique. You taken advantage of your opportunities, and now you set yourself on a tremendous trajectory to do great things, as you get older. And that's kind of the same thing I tried to imply when I was young.
Awesome. And speaking of opportunities, what were some of the opportunities that you say, or even maybe we could call it this, the people that that opened the doors to allow you to be in the position that you were in, and how were you able to be able to recognize the opportunity, but also take advantage of it when it was there in that moment?
Well, you know what? That's a great question. I think most times when you're young, you don't realize, the things that you're hearing people are telling you are what's best for you, right? You have a general idea like, oh no, I know what I'm doing. I think this is the way. And, I just knew that the people that my mom and dad surrounded me with, the community they put me in front of, if it was, Horizons Youth Program, my after school program, or the Boys and Girls Club, or wherever they were putting me around people who really cared about me. They wanted me to succeed, and they were going to hold me accountable. And I think in life, you have to have people that you have to allow them to hold you accountable, right? If you're not doing something you should be doing, if you're not working as hard as you can in the classroom, if you're not, being respectful when you're not at the house, people need to hold you accountable. And I think my parents did a really good job of surrounding me with people who held me accountable. And, as I got older, you get to 15, 16, 17, 18 years old, then you start holding yourself accountable. But it takes people around you, takes a community early on for that to happen, and I was very thankful. And I try to do that same thing for my friends' kids and my kids and other kids in my community. I think it's important that when people's parents are not there, you step in and say, look, hey, your mom and dad wouldn't want you doing that right now.
Right.
That's not cool. Go pick that up, or don't talk to that person like that. Make sure you fix that situation. I think that's something that nowadays I see is missing a little bit. Other people holding folks accountable. And I had a lot of that growing up. There's no way I would be here on this call with you, had so many people poured into me along the way.
Now, let's talk about some of the challenges that you went through. So, playing, having aspirations to play in the NFL, being able to get closer to the game, getting to the league, and then becoming arguably one of the best wide receivers to ever touch football, definitely on the Arizona Cardinals. What were some of the important lessons that you learned through all of your experiences that really stuck with you, especially to this day?
Well, I would say that no matter what stage you are in your life, you have to always aspire to do better, be better, get stronger in the things that you're weak in. So I'll give you an example. When I first was draft eligible at 19, 20 years old, a lot of the pundits said, "Hey, I don't know if he has, I don't know if he's fast enough. I don't know if he's quick enough. I don't know if he has, certain skill set to be a great player, right?" And then you come in the league and you have success, right? And then, you get another contract, right? And the people start saying, "Oh, he's 24, 25 now. He's got a new contract. Is he still hungry? Does he still have the desire to get better, or is he going to rest on his laurels, right?" And then you continue to get better and you play, and then you start getting a little bit older. You get into, your 30s, and they start saying, "Ah, is he over the hill? Is he a little long in the tooth? Can he still perform at the next?" So no matter what area, stage in life, like, people are going to present challenges for you, and it's up to you to be able to not only answer those questions, but to answer the questions that are within, in terms of how do you plan to overcome the obstacles that are going to come in life inevitably. There's always going to be challenges, and so, there's challenges in parenthood. There's challenges professionally. There's challenges personally that you have to overcome, and you just have to be willing to address those, and look at every challenge as an opportunity for you to get better. And also just learning from other people's experiences, because in life you're not afforded the the luxury of making the same mistakes other people are making often. You have to be able to learn from other people's mistakes and apply them to your life to make sure you can avoid those pitfalls. And that's one of the things that I learned at a really young age. It's just obstacles are obstacles, and they're really about how you address those obstacles, and that has a lot to do with the trajectory that you're going to find yourself on.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So, knowing you, Larry Fitzgerald, I've been watching football since I was 5, and you got drafted in 2004. So
Hmm.
over time, right? How has technology, because this is what we're here for to talk about also, how has technology changed over time from your whole NFL career? How's it affected players? Everything.
Oh man, it's changed so much. I mean, when I first got in the league, we didn't even have like iPads and stuff like that to be able to go back, a Surface, Microsoft Surface tablets to be able to go and study the tape. Be able to do it at home, and it made learning and understanding what teams were doing to you so much easier when I could watch the tape at home, or at the office, and then be able to come home and be able to watch it. You put the kids to sleep and you have an hour before you go to bed. You can study from 8:30 to 9:30 when the kids are asleep, and really be able to put the extra work in. All those things weren't really available. The technology trackers they put on our shoulder pads to be able to know how many miles I was running today. And, tomorrow I probably should, take that workload down a little bit to keep me a little fresher for the week. So technology has really helped, I think, athletes in general be able to prepare, be able to study themselves. I can always keep track of my sleep data. I always wanted to know, how did 8.5 hours correlate to me performing and feeling best, at my optimal health for practice, right? So I was looking for these correlations that I could find through technology, either, through my Whoop device or through one of the tracking devices. Now, I was always curious to find out, intricate details that could help me become a better player. And so I think as technology continues to improve, the more information athletes are able to get, you'll start to continue to see guys like LeBron James, who's in his 20th season, is still playing at the very highest levels. You look at, Rafa Nadal, and you look at, Serena Williams, who just retired, playing so many years at such a high level. Technology plays a big part in that because you have a greater understanding of yourself, and the things that you need to work on.
I, see, I would do a push-up contest with them,
Oh,
but I ain't got like the.
oh.
I need proof.
What you want to do?
Because I can't. Because I can't. My thing is, all right. So look, check this out. We did push-up contests. I won every time. There's the footage is there.
I'm doing it this time. I'm doing it this time.
Off the Chick-fil-A sandwich.
I'll do it.
Hey, move the camera, bro. Ryan, come move this camera. What's up? Nah, Nah, cause we gonna be. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we can do then. Yeah.
So fists or hands?
You trying to do knuckle
It
push-ups?
doesn't matter. Fists or hands?
It's up to you.
Oh my God.
It's up to you. Chat. Hey, it's part of the plan. Okay, vet. Oh, we got a vet. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Okay, we get.
This greatness
Oh,
happened.
we were just about to do a push-up contest with your back. So we gotta make sure. I'm so glad we got you back. All right, let us continue. Okay, at least you got back. At least you got back. All right. But I don't even know where we left off. Okay, let's just say this. Let's say this. All right. Obviously, things didn't go as planned, but that's part of it, right? Talk about this. Give me an experience in the NFL when stuff didn't go as planned. You still figured it out, got with the offensive coordinator, got with the coach, and you still made it happen to take on the dub. Whether
We know you were
Super
captain.
Bowl-
We know you were captain.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Give us a story. We want a
Yeah,
story.
Ian, nothing ever went according to plan. Nothing, nothing. It's the play was supposed to come to you, and the defense did something different. A ball came, ball was you wide open, and the ball was underthrown or overthrown. Like it never really worked the way you would hope it worked. Obviously there's occasions that things work out perfectly, but that's few and far between. I mean, sports to me was like is a microcosm of life. There's always things that you plan right for. Like I think, and we should be able to do this, and we should be able to reach this goal. And then something happens, pandemic happens. One of your top sales people gets pregnant, she goes on maternity leave. Like it's always something that kind of changes the way you think is going to all play out. But I think that's what makes it so special, man, in life, that you do have to kind of figure it out, and you got to roll with the punches. You have to be innovative and creative to figure out new ways to achieve the goals that you have set for yourself. And so, like 17 years, I can probably count on one hand, the things that ideally worked out like exactly how they were scripted to work out. It just doesn't work out that way.
But I mean, what would life be if you knew what was gonna happen next? Exactly. So it would be boring.
That's true.
It would be boring. So
That's true.
You learn to roll with the punches, and that's it sounds bad, right? Things not going according to plan, but that's what makes it exciting, and that's how you grow.
Fun.
Like you said earlier, you go through the challenges. That's how you're able to grow as a person. And so
That's real.
I guess the next part of it is, I mean, he just retired from football now.
Yeah.
You're now
Doing great
full-time
things
businessman, entrepreneurship, and real estate. So what was that transition like from going to playing football and doing business part-time to now being full-time businessman and in entrepreneurship?
Well, I think the biggest things for me is that I started out pretty early with it. I was 2008 is when I really started taking a real keen interest in doing things outside of playing sports, and so I kind of developed a decent acumen for while I was playing, and I got better and better every single year as I did internships and did more research and studying on things I was interested in. And then once I started to think about retiring, probably a few years ago, I started to think about like what did I want the exit route to look like? What do I want to be involved in? What do I want to spend the lion's share of my time with outside of the family, right? And so I had a general idea and a plan that I kind of worked out, similar to what I hoped. Obviously, that we talked about it earlier, that nothing works out exactly as you plan, but I would say, things that I laid out for myself, I've been working pretty well. I find a lot of enjoyment in, the restaurant space and the real estate development and the venture, and being in a sports organization. Like a lot of that stuff is really fun for me because you get to play in you get to have a role in people's lives and developments and really get a chance to pour into people.
Absolutely. And
So,
that's a great
my bad,
transition.
my bad.
No, that's on you. That's a great transition
I mean,
into what
yeah.
he's doing after that.
so your foundation, right? We all want to know. One of your main focuses and missions is the opportunities in technology space, right? So why is it so important to you?
Yeah, so when I would go and do my school visits, often I would go to these schools, often in you know diverse communities, and I would see a lot of the times in these school districts there was just not a lot of technology. It was a huge gap, when I would go to these more affluent neighborhoods, and I was like, man, this is not right. These young people, they should have the same opportunities and resources, that other schools have, because I think technology it bridges the gap. I mean, it doesn't really matter, what your background is, where you live. If you have access to the internet, I mean, you can access the same information that anybody else can access, right? As long as you have a connection to the internet. And I wanted to make sure these young people had that, so when they go into math, they can do it. If they can go into the history. They can research papers and things they want to talk about. They go to music, they hook up to the electric guitars and read music and play the things they want to do. They want to draw in art class, they can do that. And I really like the fact that it was mobile, and they're really flexible in terms of what you can utilize them for. And so that's really kind of was the start of what I wanted to do, was to put these technology labs in schools. And, we've done a really good job. I have an amazing executive director in Danielle Frost, who is, continued to
Yes,
push
Miss
me
Frost.
and help, create, new innovative ways where we can be impactful. And, I'm very blessed to be able to have, that kind of leadership. And I hope we can continue to just move in that positive direction for young folks.
Absolutely, and uplifting the next generation. I mean, I think that's super important because really they say it's the future, but it's really the now, right?
It's now.
Technology is
Yeah.
the now. And being able to
Hmm.
empower this generation allows us to be able to create the world that we want to live in for future generations to come, to make it easier for them. So, and again, shout out to Miss Frost because, she's done an amazing job. We've had some very great conversations in the past, and even just bringing you on board with Teen Tech Live, she's played a crucial role in that as well. So before we wrap up this segment, this is a question I haven't asked actually anybody else during this segment. But what is one question that you always have wanted to answer or always wanted to be asked, but you either A, don't get to answer it a lot, or B, it's just something that's never been asked before?
Hmm. That I haven't been asked.
Or something that you like. It could just be as simple as what is a question that you loved being asked or want to be asked that you like answering?
I like to talk about the positives. I think so often, people, harp on the negatives in life, right? That's the only thing that sells. That's the things that get the clickbait. But I like to really, highlight the positives about people and the things that they're doing well, to elevate society and elevate their communities. So anytime I get a chance to talk to not only about what we're doing, at my foundation, where I can get a chance to talk to other people about what they're doing and find ways to be able to collaborate together, to amplify some of the good work people are doing around the country and around the world. Those are things I enjoy talking about.
I'm glad. Well, I mean, you've absolutely been able to have a positive impact on other people's lives
Very
through
positive
not
impact.
only in football, not only in business, but also through the foundation. And I just hope that us at Dream Hustle Code and New Nerd, we can continue working with you to be able to help even more kids'
Please.
lives and even more families' lives for generations. Do you think we could continue that, Mr. Fitzgerald?
Absolutely, absolutely. That would be a dream come true, and I'll be honored to continue to support what you guys have done. I mean, you guys are our next great leaders,
Thank
and
you.
young people
Thank
need to
you.
look at you guys as mentors and understand that what you guys are doing with your lives can truly make a huge difference, and create a lot of wealth, a lot of influence, and this is the future, and young people need to understand that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, before you get out of here, is there anything else that you want to promote? Where can people find you? Any upcoming events that's happening or anything that you are currently working on? Last words for the people out there in the audience.
I mean, we always are doing. So we have next week. We have a couple. I'm sorry, not next week, but the following week we have a couple Christmas events that Danielle has helped put together with Boys and Girls Clubs and Big Brothers, Big Brothers, Big Sisters. We work with every Christmas time. So there's always activations that we're working with and organizations we're trying to team with to make sure we're supporting the young people, especially during the holidays.
Oh, you know what? Do you mind if I ask one more question? I know your
Sure.
time. Are you busy? Let me ask you this, because I know you've got so much going on. Are you busy, or do you have time for one more? I
No,
understand if we have
I
to
got
wrap it
time
up.
for I got time for
Okay.
one more. Yeah.
So speaking of kind of winter, because it's around that winter time, the Super Bowl is coming up. You know the Super Bowl very well, and so you're the executive chairman for the hosting committee of Super Bowl 57, correct?
Yeah.
So, what is it like fulfilling those shoes, having this role, and what are some of your responsibilities and what are the things that you have to do to create this experience for people to come to this huge global event? What is that like?
Well, it encompasses a lot, you know, and when you're doing this, you know, you're always thinking about being a good servant, right? You know, I love the state of Arizona. I've lived there 20 years. It's brought me a lot of joy, and I just want everybody who, you know, comes to the state for that week, you know, for the game, for the festivities, are met with wonderful people. You know, so first of all, you know, you have to find 5 to 6 thousand volunteers that will help with everything from
Oh, wow.
airport greeters to transportation to you know, help people get to the best hiking trails, right? You know, so you need to put together a really, really strong workforce. You know, then you also get to raise millions and millions of dollars that are going to local communities that you get a chance to pick, and that's really, really awesome. You want to be able to entice and be able to motivate, you know, companies from maybe California, Las Vegas, Texas, and Oregon and Washington State to maybe possibly move their businesses to Arizona. Show them
Right.
in terms of corporate companies that it's a great place to live. You know, it's a wonderful tax structure in terms of you know Arizona living. I mean, there's a lot of really wonderful things, and you know, so you want to listen. You want to entice people to come and live in the state of Arizona, and you know the great things that you have about the state. So it encompasses a lot. It's been a lot more than I had ever anticipated, but you know, it's something I'm really excited to be a part of, and you know, it's the greatest sporting event in our country, and to be able to do it in our backyard is a great honor.
Wow. I don't know how you do it, Mr.
I
Fitzgerald,
don't either.
managing the business, the foundation, as well as being on the hosting committee. You're like Superman at this point.
No,
You're doing a great
I
job
don't
at
know
that.
what. Well, thanks, bro. I appreciate that, man. It was great to be able to chat with you guys today.
Yes, thank you so much for
Thank
taking the
you.
time out of your day for coming. I know you got to get back to the golf course. You got so much going on, but we just appreciate you just spending this time with us doing this interview
No
on Team
doubt.
Tech Live.
All right, man. You guys have a wonderful day now.
All right, you have a
Too.
great day as well. Let's turn it over to the
All right.
intermission.